Welcome into the Dice Dragons Guild. In this hall, we unite under one banner. I forgot what I was going to say. Live by the die.
Die by the
die. You didn't give her time, you sons.
Oh.
It's too late. Go ahead.
No. Hey.
We should do it
Come
again.
on.
No, I want to keep this one.
I am Izzi, your lore master, and we are doing the best we can today with our technology not cooperating at all.
It died.
It looks okay for now, but we're on a backup, and it's going to sound like there's a jet engine behind me, which is fine.
So we just gotta crank that music.
Yeah.
It's part of our charm.
Might kill this laptop, actually. It's not meant to have all this running through it.
It's fine. We are continuing with our story, Eleothis, Land of the Woven Suns, and with me today I have...
Hello, I'm Adam. I play Eldon Strackhaven. He is a human ranger Drake Warden, and I rolled a 2.
A 2, or a 7 in Eldon's case. Yeah.
Must be nice.
Next up,
Hi, I'm Patrick. I play Malachi Morningstar. He's a Dampier Hexblade Warlock, and I rolled a 14.
14. Okay. All right. That's a 19, I believe. Or 20?
16.
14 plus 2 is...
It's not only the technology that's not working correctly, folks. Our brains are fried.
We've been away
5 to
for
everybody.
a week.
It's been hot this week.
It's
That's what it is.
it's
the
been
heat.
a lot. Yeah.
Hi, my name's Amanda. I play Iolite Emery, since we're saying our last names lately. She's an Earth Genasi Circle of Stars druid, and I rolled a 3,
3.
which puts me at the bottom.
Well, you're there with me.
Order.
Yeah.
Nice.
You can go ahead and put me at the top.
Let's see.
Cuba.
Let's see first.
I play Ayla Myrea. She is a tiefling glamour bard, and I rolled a 19.
Nice.
Okay, so
Mind
22. 22.
I know that's not how the spell works, but
It doesn't matter. You said it with such confidence.
yeah. Bluff my way
So
through the
you
bard.
can follow us for free on Patreon and watch our VODs on YouTube. We are currently up to 82 patrons and
Oh, wow. That's
over 1,400 subscribers on YouTube. Again, totally free. Come support local New England actual play creators. And if you join on our Patreon, you will get early access to the podcast version, which I do try to put out as quickly as I can. And then that is released to the public on Spotify on Mondays, 2 weeks later. For merch, you can go to tinyurl.com/DDG merch. You have some examples over on our right side.
I gotta get some more, I guess.
Woven
I
Fates,
gotta
our
go
current
that
group.
Fourth wall.
I found this MTV shirt used, so I was like, I need
That's
that.
cool.
And live by the die, die by the die, which is our motto, as you know. Again, tinyurl.com/DDG merch. For music, we are using Monument Studios Fantasy Plus, Michael Gelfi Studios, Alexander Miller, aka the Boy King of Idaho, and Kevin MacLeod via Incompetech for our ambiance and our background music. Links can be found in the show notes, and thank you to those creators who allow us to use that music. And
It's like you're trying to run The Sims on like some old
Danger
Asus
zone.
laptop over there.
That was such a specific like I knew as soon as you said it, I was like, oh, like I knew exactly what you were
oh
talking
yeah,
about.
we were
It's a
just
deep
like
cut. That's a
keep
deep
looking,
cut right there.
glancing down at your desktop, hoping it doesn't explode. Before we get started, check out our check out the scribequill.com.
We're all going to stand up and do squats now.
recap with the character art by Mibel, Mibel art on Instagram, and backgrounds from Beno's Benoes battle maps on Patreon. And don't forget to
Like, share, subscribe.
Last session, the Woven Fates dragged their battered caravan away from the Thunder Lizard stampede and the raw magic that burst from Julep's grief at the loss of Burgafash. Desdir had tunneled up in badger form to wrap the halfling in a hug, quieting the storm, while the rest of the company fought the wind. As Julep and the mini-storm she unwillingly conjured calmed, the majority of Asterim's End joined Destir in a group embrace of their most volatile member, collectively grieving the loss of another of their team on this dangerous mission. Burgerface's crushed body was gathered, and after a wary night march lit by Eldon's torch and Kai's dark vision scouting, the companions buried him at dawn, paying homage to his traditions and his dedication to being the warlock ward of Timora, a bender of luck who had changed their fates on more than one occasion, for good or ill. Their first encounter, it seemed as if the meadows had already claimed a life, despite being miles away. The journey northward to the river was grim, but mercifully uneventful. Reaching the riverside trading post of Misk, they met dwarf innkeeper Corin Stouthelm. Eldon traded a Dusk Ridge reverie stick for a free room, and Ayla found personal entertainment with an orange, one-armed half-Goliath named the Buff. At the river barges the next morning, Captain Nessa Fenlock ferried both groups across the Misk River, entering each traveler, real or false, into her toll ledger after Kai and Kethra warned her about the spreading rot. On the far bank, the grass seas unfurled, rolling emerald hills, isolated tree copses, and a hush that hid predators. For nearly a month the caravan pushed north. Fernilli coached Iolite and controlled amplification. Desdir and Fernilli grew closer. Ayla and Desdir forged a prank alliance. Kai began prying at Julep's armor of sarcasm, and Kethra and Eldon bonded over a memory-catching pendant that briefly showed Kethra her late mother hiding a journal. A secret Kethra had never known about during her time back home in Squall's End. Eventually, Kethra determined to mend fences with Mori, but warned she would make his life miserable if she found he was in any way intending to harm her forged family. She offered him a reading with her second sight as a peace offering of sorts. Mori, contemplating, declined for now, but the first steps towards truce were established between the two of them. As campfires flickered on the 25th night, Kai dreamed of the moment he, or rather Dagon, formally renounced the Raven Queen. In that memory, he accused the demigoddess of sacrificing his friend Loris to the undead vampires that roamed Devenia, refused another contract, and felt her sever his immortality as punishment. Kai awoke knowing more about the life one lived, and that defying the will of a god is as lethal as ever, if not immediately so. As the first day of the month of memories begins to shine its light across the swaying grasses of the meadows, we rejoin our heroes and their companions.
You wake to the soft hush of morning. Not bird song, not wind rustling through the tall grass encircling the camp. Just quiet. The kind of quiet that exists only in the in-between place, when dreams are still soft in your chest and the world hasn't yet asked anything of you. It's the first of memories. How apt. Because your dream was not a dream at all. It was home. Memory-drenched, recolored, refracted through time and longing and something else. You were small again, clutching a too-heavy pot of tea, your arms burning with the weight, trying not to spill as you carried it from the hearth to the long, crowded table. A little one tugged on your skirts, another one called your name from the other room, and your mother, Kaliane, glanced up with tired, grateful eyes. But she never said it. You were always the second mother, never the daughter. They said you were born in Eleothis, but conceived in the Fey realm. Your mother told you that once, when you were very small, and she was very tired, and never again. Your father was never part of the picture, an elven man named Thalorian, or so you were told, a name said in passing, folded into a sigh. He stayed behind, and the space he left never really stopped aching. Then came Jaren, your stepfather, and then came the children, all 10 of them. You raised them like you had been born for it, kissed their bruises, told them stories when they were too scared to sleep, laughed at their knock-knock jokes, held the babies on your hips while sculpting clouds into dragons for the older ones. You were everywhere, you were everything, and it was good. It was full of love, but it was never really yours. You still remember the smell of the smoke. You were off with friends, your one day to yourself, a rare, beautiful autumn sky. Leaves blazing gold and red, you had been happy as your 21st year was coming to a close and your favorite season approached. But then you saw the column of fire. 3 of your siblings nearly died. Your mother's voice rang out sharp over the chaos. Where were you? How could you? They're your responsibility, Fernilly. It didn't matter that there were others, grown ones, older ones, other siblings who could be helping bear some of the burden. It didn't matter that you needed one day to breathe. They made you feel like a stranger in your own home. So you left. You walked out the door and didn't look back, even when the littlest one wailed your name from the doorway. Closed your eyes, deep breaths, and one foot in front of the other. It would always remain the hardest thing you had ever done. And now here you are. The morning light spills in golden through the swaying reeds. The camp smells faintly of herbs and ash. A thread of warmth curls around your bare shoulder, and you look down to see Des lying beside you, still fast asleep. His chest rises and falls in a slow, peaceful rhythm. You smile and know that this is all for him. You think of the quiet glances, the stolen nights when you lie beside him, both of you too tired to speak, his fingers tracing soft circles into your back under the blanket of stars. How he presses his forehead to yours when the weight of his pain gets too heavy. How he says your name like it's a promise. You'd do anything for him. You believe in him. You believe in the shards. You believe in the future he sees. You reach down gently and brush a loose curl from Desdear's brow. He stirs, still clinging to sleep. You lean in, press a light kiss to his lips. It's the first of memories, you whisper. Let's get everyone together so we can start the day off right. The woven fates awaken or are awakened gently by Fernilly, Desdear, Maury, the rest of Asterim's End around your campfire. And
Morning.
Once everyone is awake, Fernilly says, it's the first of memories. You all know that the first of memories is kind of celebrated differently in various cultures. So just kind of throwing out there, like whatever way your different cultures would celebrate it. It is a month of remembrance and whatever that may mean. It could be for those that you've lost or for making new memories. Everyone kind of handles it a little bit differently. But in this case, you see Asterim's End starts to kind of gather up, and Fernilly says, in my hometown, we always started off this day with just chatting about some of our favorite memories. So as they kind of get the breakfast together and get packing up, they invite everyone. You just kind of sit around this, where the food is being cooked, so not quite like a campfire, but more of just a cooking fire. And Fernilly says, there's no pressure, but it's a beautiful day for it. If anyone wants to share a memory.
I guess I have one.
Please.
So, I was probably 13 or so when this happened, but we were out in the woods. Just a normal day. It was myself, my sister, and our uncle. Of course, we had a few people watching over us, but a time when we could step away from the rest of the family. The three of us in the woods, hearing the birds like I hear now as I awake. It's one of those memories of one of the only times where we just got to experience things. A light breeze, warm suns on our face, no pressure, no obligations. One of the only moments we could truly be children. Haven't thought of that moment in a long time.
It's beautiful.
Blackberry tarts. When I was a boy, me and my mother, where I'm from, each Sunday, shit, we don't have Sundays, do we?
10th day.
Every 10th day, thank you. Me and her would go down to the baker down the way, and we'd always get my father's favorite tots, blackberry. And we always got extra to eat on the way. And she said it was our secret. It was nice. I miss that.
Julep jumps in right now. Like, I fucking got one.
This time I stabbed a guy. Blade came out so smooth.
Didn't even have to wipe it off.
Yeah.
It's about Bergie. You all know that this was a good one. You know how he had that smell? And you see a lot of Asterim then just kind of like, they laugh a little bit.
You smell.
Well, I know for a fact that the only reason why he got that smell and I didn't is because of that luck shit he used to do. We ran into somebody, I swear it was a hag, and you see it like Maury just goes, oh, absolutely, that was definitely a hag. And I mean, I might have said some shit to her because she looked fucking ugly and she was standing in my way. And she did a little something with her finger. Swirl it in the air, something. And she was looking at me. But somehow, before we knew it, that stank started drifting through. We all looked at Bergie. All he did was smile. She looked a little confused, but she still walked off, thinking she'd done what she was gonna do. Little bitch. Anyway, I'm gonna miss that smell. And it would have been for me. You all got lucky. But that's the kind of guy he was. She sits back.
Days like this morning make me think of home. Like, days like this we would paddle downriver to the shore. We would catch fish. We would cook them right there because we were young and our powers with the weave were coming in, and many of us are able to just cook that fish right away. Just crabs have little boils and fires right on the shore for breakfast. And those were good days. Didn't get in trouble yet. As we got older, we started getting in more trouble. But those are innocent days.
There was this cat when I was little. Sometimes I wonder if he was even real or if I just imagined him, because I only saw him at night. I like to go and stargaze by myself. And one night, this orange, just chubby tomcat that I had never seen before sat next to me. And just as though he was supposed to be there and that he always had been there. And he sat by my side. And I noticed night after night he would kept reappearing at the same time in the same place. And eventually we got more comfortable with each other, and he would sit in my lap and let me pet him, and he would purr. And while I was sitting one night, made a chain of flowers, and I put it around his neck just to see if he would let me. And he did. And he actually looked quite proud to be wearing it. So from then on, I would make him one every night and wait for him and put it on him. And it just was kind of, I asked my parents and if they had ever seen this orange cat, and they were like, what are you talking about? There's no cat. No one around here has a cat. But one night I had made him this chain of blue flowers, and I was waiting for him on the hill, and he just never came. And I never did see him again. And I'm sure maybe there was a predator got him or something, but I like to think maybe he just went off on some grand adventure. That he saw the stars every night and just decided there was something more out there for him. So that was Comet. Not a very creative name, but I was like 6, so.
It is fitting.
You hear the others in Asterim's End share memories of typically happy things, generally. Juleps would probably be the only, kind of sad one, although a little funny. And once they all do the rounds, you see a couple of them give each other hugs. And Fernelli says, I think this is going to be a good month. You can always make new memories.
Well, it is my birth month, so yes, it will be a good month.
Takeo does not share, as a matter of fact. That's probably
totally
the
one
only
of those
one.
people who makes everybody celebrate the whole month for their birthday. Well, it's my birthday month.
If
so.
we were in the city, the celebration would start now.
All right, so you pack up and are continuing to head through the meadows. As you walk on this first day of memories, sidebar at some point halfway through the day, Maury takes your team aside, more specifically, and just kind of brushing his hair out of his face. It's been a little bit of a sweaty day. You are in the midst of summer in these fields where the grasses do kind of, depending on how high they are, help with keeping the suns out of your face. But then at a certain point, like breezes, although you can hear it in the background, it may not be reaching you the best way that they could to cool you down.
I'm very bougie with my magical fan that casts gust wind.
Yeah.
But I'm not gusting wind at myself. I'm just actually fanning myself like a Paris Hilton or something.
So Maury steps aside and says, So, I would like to catch you up to speed with where I believe we are on our journey. As you know, I've kept a lot of this close to the chest. It's, we've been traveling together for quite some time, but we're not one team, we'll say. Anyway, so we will be coming up on if my calculations are correct, a bog that kind of stretches quite some distance. The locals call it Stillfen. We have to get through that. And right on the other side of it, we will come to Bog's End, which is a town. I loosely call it that my contact stated there is a teleportation circle.
Oh.
Pretty large. It is guarded by the townsfolk. I don't know what they'll ask for us to be able to utilize it, but we have to get through the bog first, is essentially what I'm saying.
How difficult is this going to be?
It's a several-day journey with the carts and the horses. It is not going to be pleasant. We've been very lucky with what we've come across so far. Nothing we all couldn't handle, but this will be a little different. I would imagine Theratrix would want to stay closer to us. He won't be able to see or help from the skies. But once we get to the town, then we can utilize the circle to hopefully be transported to another location, another town, several hundred miles northeast, called Rift Spire. These are unsanctioned teleportation circles, but again, there are no kingdoms claiming these lands, so it's a bit of a wild situation. The folks that live in these towns are merchants, fugitives, former adventurers, current adventurers, owners.
So what would they find of value to trade for the usage of this?
It truly is going to be, I've never been there, so I will be learning along with you, but that is my plan.
Okay.
Once we get to Rift Spire, I do need to chat with a person or two, get us in the right direction, and then it shouldn't be too much further to where the individual stated they saw one of the shards when it fell from the sky over a decade ago.
A decade ago.
Yeah.
This is not new information.
Unfortunately,
Up to date.
no, but I think that Iolite will be able to feel whether it's accurate information.
All right. I hate to come all this way for out-of-date information.
That's the only information we have. But let's get through the bog and worry about it when we get to the other side.
Perhaps the metal lady has some ideas of what these bug people would take.
Oh.
Hmm.
Gaia?
Yeah, that's
That
the
metal
one.
lady?
Yes. You still have her, yes?
Yeah. Hopefully her charge is still good, but I guess I'm her charge, so it's probably fine. Bog people?
Yes, we have a little woman who is trapped in a metal plate who
Here she
has a lot
is.
of information.
Ah,
She may know something. Let us ask.
Okay. Zap.
roll a d6.
3.
That's how much damage you take.
It's a big one.
Just feel a little shock
Gonna
in
last
your
a while.
finger.
Ouch. Gaia,
Hello.
good to hear your voice.
It is nice to hear your voice as well, Iolite.
Oh, thank you.
How may I help you today?
Are you familiar with Maury, what was the bog called?
The locals call it Stillfen, but
Bog? Stillfen bog? Or just bog? Do you have a lot of bog knowledge in general?
To be the title.
Bog knowledge.
That's going up on that later. Bog knowledge.
unfortunately, Iolite, I am not familiar with a bog named Stillfen. However, I do have a substantial amount of bog knowledge.
It's just two words I never thought that would ever
Incredible
be in a
news.
sentence together.
How can I help you?
Well, we're going to be crossing a dangerous bog. What could we perhaps expect in terms of things that might want to kill us in this bog?
Information I have on this plane of existence indicates a variety of creatures, including giant frogs, giant snakes, giant bats, typically undead creatures, flying creatures. The bog itself may also be alive in various ways.
I don't like any of this.
Is
Well-
there a road in the bog?
We'd look at Maury.
Maury.
The lady is asking if there's a road in the bog.
He leans forward and goes, yes, there is, but it is man-made and rickety.
Like grandpa and face
She says, in the case where there is a man-made road, you will want to limit your path to that road.
That's great advice.
Definitely worth 3 hit points.
If we wanted to fuck with Izzy, we'd be like, here, Maury.
I just
you
wanted her.
take Gaia and speak with her for a little bit.
I just want her to do the voice.
I do. No, I love Gaia. I was going to have her.
What safety precautions should we take? Are you familiar with where we are?
So she
She doesn't know how she works. She's
yeah.
just like, you see where we are, right?
There's her location services turned on. Does she know where we are?
Does she have a pin that she can drop in our location?
I'm gonna do a roll. I'm gonna think about this roll.
She's going to hook up with geosynchronous satellites above.
I mean, there could be.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I
Yeah.
said it. 'Cause of-
Yeah, when you say that, she says scanning, and then you see like a little beep beep kind of like light that's flashing, and you don't really see much of anything beyond that, but it does flash a few times, and then she states, I have downloaded from the satellite information about the location in which we are. However, please note, it is quite outdated.
More than 10 years?
It's quiet for a moment. It says significantly more than 10 years.
Oh.
What's a satellite? Just kidding.
No, I mean, that is a valid question.
No,
I do.
know. I'm not gonna do
Is it
that
a
to
sandwich?
Izzy.
She
Is it
goes
a type
into
of sandwich?
a
Bigger than
very
hoagie.
a hoagie. She goes into a long explanation about satellites, electronics, the systems, how the Gith set it up, where it is in the astral plane, how that like triggers things that are,
We're just
you
sitting there
know,
like,
yeah. And then she's done.
wow, that was a lot of something.
We should probably get back to the bog stuff, I guess.
Yeah, yes. It doesn't sound like we can eat
Well,
a
what
satellite.
did you come up with for this area, even if it is a bit old?
This particular bog, which is, and she gives the distance away, a couple days, is full of bog willows, reed moss, water lilies and bladderworts, sundew vines, witchlight ferns, grave blossoms, fen fruit bramble.
I think she's going to go on with plants and flowers if you don't ask about the dangerous things.
Are any of those plants or flowers dangerous?
The grave blossoms are not necessarily dangerous, however, they will appear and only grow where something has died recently.
How recently?
Unclear.
How long will they last?
The grave blossoms are an annual plant. They will only last approximately one season.
Are there any predators that we need to worry about?
Mist drifters are translucent jellyfish-like creatures that float through the air instead of water. They can be harmless, but they can also be disorienting. Boghounds are semi-spiritual beasts that only appear on moonless nights. Based off of my calculations, you are not in danger of a moonless night
That's good.
for the next 10 days. Fen lights are flickering orbs that appear just off of the path. Following them almost certainly will lead to danger. And sink spawn. Small, semi-humanoid creatures made of mud and swamp matter, curious and mischievous. They will try to pull you into the bog.
Oh.
Are there any warning signs for those creatures?
The boghounds will howl prior to appearing. The others that were listed, no warning signs.
And how old is this information that you have?
This information is, she gives some kind of crazy number,
10,000.
like thousands of years ago.
Was it even a bog thousands of years ago?
Yeah. If there were boghounds. You can't have boghounds without a bog.
True. But I thought this was turned into a bog and grasslands like recently from the moons.
No.
Oh.
No, this one, this is a special bog.
This is a permabog.
This one
The
was
swamps
once a
are
bog, always a
from
bog.
the swamps are from desert, and those are from like the rain, where the bog is like acidic. It's different. It wasn't. This area was not a desert.
Okay. Can your satellites give us any information on the shard we are looking for? Or I don't remember if we've asked her about the shards before. It's been so long. These shards?
Hey!
Taking X-ray.
And they're powering her, so she's got to have some awareness of them, maybe.
Well, you can also just ask her if she remembers. I'm sure she, if we asked her about it.
Might be out of her range.
If we asked.
One more
Maybe
bog
out of her
creature-related
service
question
range.
while they
She needs to
discuss.
connect to a tower.
Yeah.
Gaia, do you know if the creatures that
It's the
inhabit
T-Mobile one.
the bog would be vulnerable to any particular kind of like fire or poison or ice? Or is it just varied?
Typically, in a bog, fire will not do you much good, as it is a very wet environment.
I had a feeling.
Your best options will be radiant, lightning, thunder. However, use caution, as lightning can spread to your companions. as easily as it does to your enemies.
Kyle just slowly look over towards Desir.
Desir will slowly look over at Kai, like, straight face.
Did he hit you with lightning too?
No, but he remembers. He remembers that giant lightning bolt that went right.
Fucking charred scar that Eldon has.
Kethra likes to use lightning too.
And then he looks away. As does Fernilly.
Anyways, scan her shoulder.
Okay. Okay. Scan.
Ow, it's hot.
Yeah, it's overheating. Would you be able to detect more of this if it comes within a certain distance of us?
Depending on my power range, I may be able to detect this within a certain mileage.
But so can you, yes?
Yes, I think I only can. Well, I used to only be able to. I think was it a mile?
Yeah.
So potentially further, maybe she could. Maybe. Doesn't hurt to try, I guess.
Yeah. Are you familiar with these shards at all?
I am not.
Damn.
Will you add it to your memory bank?
I will. What is the description you would like me to associate with these shards?
You should call them Iolite shards. They are opalescent and very powerful. That's mostly what we've got so far.
And they're Iolites.
Yeah.
No one else's.
There are
Noted.
6 of them.
Noted.
How are you in there? Do you need food or drink or anything?
I appreciate your concern, Ayla, but I do not consume food, nor do I drink drinks.
Your loss.
So maybe I could keep you on so that you could try to detect shards. Maybe as we get a little closer. Perhaps?
I am at your service.
Okay.
I am operating on minimal power.
How long will you last with the power you have now?
I can perform minor tasks with the power that I have now for approximately 2 hours and 45 minutes.
So your little charge is good for about 3 hours at a time.
I mean, I could try a bigger charge, but maybe we should wait until we're closer
Yes.
to, like,
Perhaps
after the bug.
after about 2.5 hours, perhaps you give it a little extra. Maybe increase over time to make sure you can handle it.
Yeah. I'll give it a try.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Ayla.
Guy, do you have any music?
What's
I
on
do.
my Spotify?
I do have music. What would you like to hear? She lists like 17 different types of Githyanki music styles. R&B, hip-hop, traditional country,
Max Rebo
contemporary
and the
country.
modal nodes.
I'm interested in that death metal.
The gith. Will you just play something that was popular with the gith that is soothing and good for a stressful adventure situation
Yes,
at a low volume that will not drain your battery too substantially?
I will play a popular song. Not this one.
It's gonna sound like Yoko Ono.
This is horrible.
They give that totally different way of hearing than we did. So it's like, to our ears, it just sounds like
Get that
screaming.
death whistle of yours.
Oh yeah, you gotta blow that thing, huh?
I gotta clean the gross out of it. I don't know how many people put their mouth on that thing.
That's what she said.
I'll clean it, and then next week I will scream it.
So,
Scream it.
Clean it and scream it.
to the sounds of Gaia for a little while, you are able to head off into the meadows. Within a day or two, Theratrix swoops down to let you all know that the bog is right there, coming up on it. Mori tells everybody to get prepared. Maybe buddy system tying to each other or to the carts, because you do have these two carriages with the horses. And that you need to stay on... the direction that he took you was to approach from where he knows there is this man-made road of sorts. It's like planks that have been painstakingly dropped in this bog to connect different areas of like peat that are dried out and above the areas where it's just wet. Moss, and it's not a great location. The smell kind of hits you first before you
It's like
reach.
that seaweed that you were talking about.
Yeah. That smell of decay. As a bog, is more plant matter and whatnot. It's got a similar smell that reminds you of what you have entering your nostrils when you get close to that rot from the god. It's somehow it's different and lesser than the smell, but it's there.
And decaying plants smell like
Yeah.
worse than like a dumpster at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is this something about
Yeah.
bulk of
You-
eternal stench?
And as you approach, the land ahead turns soft, and grass gives way to mire, and the dry road becomes a narrow path of planks and stone, winding like a cautious ribbon across a vast, mist-laced bog.
And I'm doing it in heels.
Backwards.
We change.
Bryce Dallas Howard can run from a T-Rex and through the jungle in heels. So can Ayla.
So are we are we all on the cots, or are we...
That's totally your call. Yeah. A couple people are probably in carts. but-
covered?
Yeah, I believe you all wanted them to be
Covered
covered because you were looking through
wagons.
windows and stuff.
Yeah. Eldon's gonna climb up to the highest point he can on one of them, and just to keep watch.
Okay.
I
Yep.
was gonna say, I don't think it'd be super smart to be in the carts in case the horses get spooked, because then if they run off, you run off. You're in there.
Well, there are people.
I mean, I personally I have a dragon escape pod, so I'm not super worried.
Yeah, so it's mostly to carry like your stuff, and a couple of people are in the carts. But then, given this, yeah, you would have people in front of the horses leading them physically through this. That's why it's going to take you so long to get through. If you didn't have carts, you could probably like figure out a way to fly over or something. But you've got stuff with you, so. A couple people will be leading and making sure that the horses stay on the planks and the rocks and the things. And then, the rest of folks can be inside. It's totally your call, whatever you decide to do. You are told, so Mori, as you go, he says, this is called the Sinking Way. Just keep that in mind as we go.
I wonder why they call it that.
I have an idea why.
I mean, the planks are not sinking, so maybe the name is made up.
Totally random.
Let's hope.
Circumstantial.
Kind of like how you call the really tall guy tiny, right?
I I've never called a tall guy tiny. That is just weird.
Things are different off of the island.
Somebody roll me a d8. Who's the top? Ayla. It's all you.
Oh, me.
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing? An 8?
D8.
Where are you? 3.
Okay. Okay. We'll say the first day kind of goes by. It's gross, and eventually you get used to the smell. You don't even smell it anymore. Even
You can't
though
just point to me and say that because we're on camera. That was alluded to a conversation that we all had earlier about the way
you don't even smell it.
noses work, but that was just mean. That was hurtful, Izzy.
You all know that you're used to it, but Julep still complains the entire time. She's just like, stinks. Ayla, is that you?
Isla's sitting there with like a little vial of perfume. Like she's like
Little peppermint oil.
keeps taking a little.
Julep keeps like making the same joke but doing a different person's name. Takeo, who's always like kind of nearby, he's just shakes his head with a little foxy smile. Kai.
Here, if the smell is that bad, and he'll take out a handkerchief, he'll do a little prestidigitation, and it's going to be that smell that reminds her of
Bergie.
Bergie.
And she takes it. She's like, and she looks at you. She does a little head tilt.
Gonna give her a little wink.
And she just holds it up to her nose, and she's like,
Oh yeah.
Sweet Bergie stink.
we'll say day 2, you are bringing these carts through. The day starts off gross and whatever. Theratrix hopping from like dead tree to dead tree. It's very like misty and difficult to see, which
How
doesn't
wide
help.
is the plank thing road we're on?
It's wide enough to just barely, with like 3 or 4 inches on one side, handle carriages.
So if a wheel slips off, we're gonna have an annoying day.
Yes. Yes, you will. As you're walking at one point on day 2, you all hear a very loud crack sound that comes from, you're not really sure exactly which direction. Everybody kind of stops, gets quiet, looks around. All night, the night before, you heard things moving, but you kept it real dark where you were and ate things that didn't need cooking. It's warm and muggy and gross in here, so there's no need to like keep warm. It's just you don't feel good in this Stillfen. But you hear this loud crack, and then something like falls, and you hear the sploosh of the liquid, just boggy acid water getting displaced somewhere off in the distance.
How
And
close was that?
you can make a nature or survival or perception, whichever one you want.
11.
Okay. You don't know how close it was, but it was pretty close. You take a moment, all of you, just standing there to listen, and then you start to hear this buzzing. It's not as loud as when you were faced by those giant mosquito creatures, but it's definitely like coming from all different directions. And then you notice a kind of like cloud of little tiny insects that begins swarming around different tree trunks and then heading your way. And they kind of overtake you all very quickly as just like you're batting them away and trying not to choke on. They don't seem to be like hanging out where you are, but there's a lot of them, and they're getting swatted every which way. I need everybody to make a con save.
Ah, fuck.
As these are like filling your mouth and nose and you're swatting them, it's a very large gnat, like
Can I
bog
use
gnats.
Mage Hand and just cover my face with Mage Hand while I'm swatting away?
Yeah. You
Does
do that.
Does that give me advantage?
Well, they're getting into your ears, your eyes. You won't like choke on them, but what did you roll?
6.
Oh,
So I asked for advantage. Because I'm covering my face with Mage Hand. Mage Hand is regular size, right? It's not like oversized cartoon like in the Vox Machina.
No,
That's
that's a
Bigby's
different one.
hand.
Okay.
That was Big B's hand.
Yeah. Who got above a 13? Okay. So Asterim's End actually does surprisingly well. They kind of like zip things up, and then the people up front, will say Dropple, Fernilly, are pushing the gnats away with various wind or weather magic. But for some reason, Iolite... Actually, let me see if Kethra joins you in that. Yeah, she rolled a 3. Iolite and Kethra
I
up
love
front.
the idea of a mosquito trying to bite you and just breaking its face on the skin.
Yeah.
You're like choking a little bit on them. You're going to have disadvantage on perception and concentration. They're like getting stuck in your eyes, all this stuff. And you're like pushing the carts through here. With that, I am also going to have
Do I have a disadvantage to that too?
disadvantage on perception and concentration. While you're kind of pushing these carts through on day 2, with the gnats having come through, I'm going to have everybody do... Actually, we're going to do 2 rolls for a dex save for the carts. It's a straight roll. So 2 of you can roll if you'd like.
Just a straight, no modifiers.
Straight roll, no modifier, because it's the cart itself.
Oh,
that we're trying to see if something happens to one.
I did the
Be Kai and
D8,
Eldon.
so yeah.
Kai and
you two
Eldon.
can-
all right, Guy and Eldon.
D20.
Oh. 19. 5.
Okay. So we'll say Asterim's End, their cart slips in front, and everybody kind of gathers up. You see everybody trying to like pull the wheels and everything back up onto the planks. They use a little bit of magic, but they're also trying to make sure that they don't destroy anything while they're lifting up. But your cart, you're able to keep it, but you have to stop. And because of that gnat swarm comes like back around. And I need everybody to make another con save.
Since this has happened once, could I have taken out my bug repelling candle in anticipation of
Yeah.
it possibly happening again?
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps lit it.
How far did
Although
that go?
God
Again.
damn,
I
motherfucker.
don't remember.
I think it was 30 feet, but I could be wrong.
Sounds right. I have it somewhere.
Might be 15 or 10. What'd you get?
15?
Okay.
30.
6.
30 feet.
Okay,
Sorry,
30
not,
feet.
I didn't
So
roll
does
30.
that actually give us any kind of protection against that then?
I will say yes, because you wouldn't be with... So I'm going to roll for Asterim's End. So I'll say that because of you lighting the candle, you all don't have to. I'm going to roll for
nice.
Asterim's.
Good.
Nice thinking.
Yeah, I
Thank
forgot
God for
about
that
that.
candle.
Yeah. It's like those little things, you know?
Asterim's End does not fare well with the second round of bog gnats. They come through and you see a bunch of choking, like it stops the movement of the cart that they're trying to lift up out of the bog. Desi and Mori are able, like you see Mori, this time he does give a little bit of like a push to his people, but the only one he's got is Desi. For Nilly, Dropple, everybody else is like choking on these things. And you hear Mori like yell out Desi's name, and he's like, okay. And then he tries to use, because he followed his mother's footsteps and is more of a forest druid, he pulls up. It's just more difficult for him because this is a dead space. So he's trying to like find life to gather to pull this up. This ends up kind of setting you guys back by almost a day, due to the amount of time that you have to spend making sure that this doesn't get destroyed. Did the wheel get bent? All of that fun stuff. And then taking a break and pushing out the gnats and keeping them at bay while you're trying to do all of this. Who wants to roll for day 3?
I think it would be me. What am I rolling again?
D8.
No bog gnats.
5. Okay. So, day 3, you end up having to spend day 2 just like stopped where you are and trying to make your way. There is an interesting individual who just kind of passes by you. We'll say the night is
Dark,
descending
full of terrors.
upon you on day 2. Again, you don't do anything when it comes to like large campfires or anything. You keep it very, very quiet, but at one point during the night, whoever is up doing the first watch, you off to the side, keeping the carts in the road, hear and see a humanoid figure that starts walking like around a bend and then stops when they see. So whoever's on watch. We'll say one of Asterim's End and
Say Eldon for Nelly again.
Eldon and Fernilly. You're watching and then you both see the same individual. You can't, it's just a silhouette of a person who's all the way on the other side of like maybe 40 feet away that has come around a bend and stopped and seen you and has not moved. Fernilly like kind of gets some lightning crackling in her fingers, like between her 2 hands, and yells out, "What do you need?" But this person doesn't respond.
You're blocking the whole road. It's like,
I'm walking here.
it's like, what do you mean what I need? I need to get over the road.
Eldon at this time would definitely have an arrow at least ready. He's not going to draw on the guy, but he'll be ready to.
Okay. The figure then begins walking very slowly in the direction of Eldon and Fernilly. You're kind of both on the side of the road. And she yells out, "You're going to want to stop!" And
Telepathically, I'll tell Theratrix to basically fly 20 feet over him as fast as he can.
okay. He can more like jump quickly, I'll say, because there's like lots of dead everything. He won't get a path to fly, but he kind of makes his presence known, leaping from one tree to another.
This could be such a horror movie scene of he was just like along the tree lines and then
I
just
just want him to
slowly rises behind this person.
I just want him to be intimidating and somewhat scary.
Okay. You see the figure stops again, and like you can tell that they're tilting their head up and watching as Theratrix makes the rounds and like kind of then stops at a certain point off behind them. So now you're flanking this individual. They keep walking towards you. Fernilly just keeps her lightning ball going. But as they approach, you notice like familiar features about this person. I'm gonna have you roll a d6.
2.
Okay.
If he recognizes or thinks he recognizes the person, he'll probably start to climb down.
Who?
Eldon.
Oh, Eld. Okay.
I imagine that they're like on like the cot or something like.
Oh,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? For a better vantage, that's what I thought. But
You notice you just kind of barely recognize or start to recognize this person who is walking towards you. It looks to be one of Duskridge's people. And as you like rack your brain trying to remember the name of this person, you recognize the cook, Corwin. And he's dressed in like the clothing that you last saw him in.
So I would remember his name by that time. How close is he?
He's like maybe come about like 15 feet up, and Fernilly has gotten really like she's stepped back towards the cart.
Corwin?
The individual, as they get a little bit closer and the light from Fernilly's lightning is lighting up his face, he just kind of like looks up at you, but doesn't say anything.
From the Duskridge estate. Right?
Just kind of tilts his head and keeps walking, but almost starts making like steps off of the path to try to maybe make its way around where you are, like around the.
How far away from the road?
Maybe 5 feet or so.
So like not enough to sink into the bog. But
Yeah,
just,
no,
that
just like
hardened.
off to the side. And just very like silently looks at Fernilly and then keeps on walking, looking up at you.
Does
and
he look like he has any, like what's he, does he look sick? Does he look messed up?
How much ectoplasm is dripping from him?
Make a perception check.
Whoa, nat 20 after bouncing off like and stuff.
He looks almost exactly like how you when you last saw him. He's got his like kind of blondish hair. He's wearing like his clothes look pretty clean. He doesn't look sick, but he doesn't really look like super healthy. And he's not saying anything.
Eldon's gonna follow him with his bow drawn. He'll keep pace with him down the road and ask Fernilly to wake up the others.
Okay.
Like tell them Corwin from the Duskridge estate, the cook, is here, and to come outside. I'm assuming everyone's asleep.
Fernilly says, all right, and then she goes to wake everybody up as Corwin just continues to like walk, giving a little bit of a
Yeah,
wide
Eldon's gonna
berth.
like walk along, like keep pace with him with the arrow drawn in case he makes a move.
Okay. Roll another d6.
5.
Okay. Fernilly comes and is like waking everybody up. It doesn't take him long. He's kind of walking alongside, not too close to you. If you get closer, he kind of moves out a little bit, and then comes around the bend. You are like trained on Corwin. Desi comes running up to you, and is like, "What's going on?"
Someone that me and the others have met some time ago. He's acting very strangely, and I have no idea how or why he's here.
And he looks over, and you can see his expression. Desi's kind of is like, wait. And he points at Corwin, who's now not Corwin. It's not Corwin at all. It is Julep. And she is walking like away from your camp, walking down the road. Corwin is gone. She gets like 15, 20 feet before the light around stops like illuminating exactly, and she looks more of like a shadow at that
If
point.
Desi starts to move, Eldon's gonna put his hand out to stop him.
Yeah, he stops, and then turns around, and you see Julep, who's like, "What the fuck? You guys couldn't handle this on your own?" She's behind you.
And we come out of the cart, like, what are you talking about, a chef from Duskridge?
Some sort of shapeshifter out there, I think.
Oh, what?
You all look off and you can see the shadow of what looks to be Julep from she's right there, so you have a frame of reference, and it's stopped and is turned around and is looking at your whole group.
Oh.
But it's maybe 20 feet away at this point. The length of this room.
Hey, you. Go away.
Please.
Did it work?
No, it's just standing there.
Oh. I'm gonna pick up a bog stick.
Oh, no.
If I wanted to throw a stick at it, I would have shot an arrow at it.
I'm not being violent.
It's a friendly stick throw?
I'm gonna
It's not an arrow.
Okay.
I said, go away. I'm aiming for the feet.
Okay, roll a d20.
I'm gonna nat 20 this watch.
Leg sweep.
3.
Ow!
It goes.
Fuck! Ayla!
It's the real julep.
Yeah. Sorry.
Behind you.
She's like, you fucking bitch. She takes a stick and whips it at your ass. While that's happening, you all look back and it's gone. There's nothing on the road anymore.
Ah, see, it worked.
Maury, who is barely awake, says, that's unnerving. Everyone be careful on your watch.
I mean, it just walked, right?
I think it's best if also no one goes alone. Always stay with somebody.
I was already doing that.
All right. So you're buddying up even further. Okay, we'll say you had an extra day, so we've got 2 days after this. Another D8.
That's you.
That's all.
That's your turn.
That's my turn.
You
Back
already
to
went
top.
already.
No, you're the top.
You are the top.
Yeah.
You didn't roll.
You
You
didn't roll?
No.
Oh.
Amanda was the last one to roll the D8.
Me and him did the wagon thing together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
8.
That's either really good or really bad.
8 ghosts.
Well into your travels, day 5.
5 days into the bog?
5 days into the bog.
Damn.
A lot
big,
of bug.
That's a big old bog.
Yeah.
I have Darby O'Gill's, the bog song.
Rattling ball.
Yeah.
Rattling ball.
Well, I mean, we can only go so fast because of the cards. So.
Yeah.
Rattling Bog is stuck in my head so bad right now.
I'm gonna have everyone roll a wisdom save.
Oh.
As you get to a certain point, there's interesting like pools of water around you.
Gonna just
Oh, I don't know.
I'm gonna use the first one.
Interesting pools of water. You can see where like some creatures maybe died who knows how long ago, and the parts that are under the water are fully preserved and there, but the parts that are above have been completely decayed. It's interesting to see. They're mostly animals, but like small ones or like an errant sheep or something.
Dead march is precious.
And then as you're looking, you all don't know not to do this. So kind of as you're walking alongside the carts, pulling things, just as you go, this particular area, you see things reflected in that water that are very familiar to you. Just individually, as you walk by, it takes a moment that you just stop and look in, and you're like, that can't be. What did everybody roll?
15.
Okay.
19.
All right.
9.
Okay.
12?
All right.
Like, it was one of them things that was like, that's right on the line that I'm like, statistically, am I going to roll higher than an 11? I leave a +1 for my fucking wisdom save.
-1.
Oh, shit.
Kai and Eldon. As you
Guess it wasn't high enough.
you are like looking into the water, and you don't even notice that you're doing this, but you actually I'm gonna roll for Kethra, she's fine. You head out into the water area, further than you normally would, but you also like everybody's kind of like doing their thing, and all of Asterim's End, we'll say Julep starts going off into the water, Dropple as well, like they are like moving off, a couple of them. You see like Mori is getting concerned for Nilly. The rest of you are confused as just within a few steps, Kai, Eldon, Dropple, Julep have like pulled themselves away about 10 feet from the group. And I need you to roll again, the two of you.
Oh, boy. Oh.
Is this another?
Ooh.
Is this another wisdom save?
Another
Or-
wisdom save, yes.
How dead are you?
All right. Below 15? You're
18.
fine. Okay, so about 10 feet in, you like come back to.
I know. She didn't ask me, so I'm just being quiet.
No, I saw by your face. So Constitution save, Kai.
Oh my god.
As you
17.
17. So you 10 feet out, like kind of come back to yourself and realize that you are standing in this waist deep muck that you can't see what's on the bottom, and are able to like kind of pull yourself away. You take 2 points of
Dysentery.
necrotic damage as you notice all of these black leeches that have stuck to like your legs and are pulling like you feel them.
Parasites.
You feel them.
I do.
Eldon, I need you to make 2 Constitution saves.
I'm still out there.
You're still out there.
Oh boy. Okay. Neither of those are gonna pass. That's 8 and 11.
You take
Oh no, is that a 3 or an 8? I mean, it doesn't matter. It fails either way. So
19 points of necrotic damage, and you are
19 points of leech damage.
like, yeah.
Ooh, you're like
They
Rambo
really
and Rambo
leeched you.
2 when they pull him out of the doo-doo thing and he's just covered in those big leeches.
You hear like Julep just starts like screaming as she's just like ah ah. Dropple is like still headed out. So now that you all have heard this kind of
Am I
screaming,
still headed out,
yeah,
too?
make another roll. You haven't come back to the
Ah,
reality.
5.
Throw that dice away.
I know. This one's going. Yep,
That's
this
like
one's
How
going.
far out
fives
is
in a
he
row.
at this point?
So Eldon has kind of wandered off about like 30 feet from the rest of the group while everybody's trying to pull Dropple, pull Julep,
Where's Eldon? Where did
pull
Eldon
Kai.
go?
Make another Constitution save.
Me?
Eldon, yes.
I'm gonna do something here.
12 plus 3, 15.
Okay. You come back too, and you're like 30 feet away from everybody.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Phew.
I don't have to do what I was gonna do though.
Guys,
He's back to himself.
will you get slapped with mage hand?
No, I was gonna
Oh.
command you to return.
I thought you were gonna just mage hand.
If that didn't work, then I would have.
You take another 7 points of necrotic damage as you hear like Fernilly yells out to you, Eldon!
I don't know how I got here.
Somebody go get him.
Come back.
I'm not going out there.
Leeches. Why is he Jerry's fucking? I don't know.
I was just gonna ask.
I don't know.
Why did Eldon become Seinfeld?
I don't know.
Theratrix like jumps from one to the other and then swoops down, grabs on, and like pulls you out, but you have leeches on you. Actually,
hear that
Kai, you have
splort.
leeches as well.
I was picturing like when your kid's done something bad in public and you're like,
He's
you doing,
right,
man?"
like really hard from under the
Scoop 'em up,
arms.
like,
So you take 6 points of necrotic damage as you're pulling these leeches off of you. There were a lot. And Eldon, as you're pulling them off while being carried, you take 7 more points of necrotic. You're like grabbing all of these off of you. Dropple looks like crap when finally you all get pulled back together. And you can see, you know, you take a little moment burning the little things that you pull off of you. This is definitely
touching
Yeah.
all of them as they burn.
this is
Well, you could do
a
that with fire.
hidden leech bed.
You can start fires, yeah.
Yeah, that was not a great experience.
No, that was like that was a lot of leech damage.
So
You're
many
going
of
to want
them.
to check because
Crevices, nooks and crannies.
Yes,
They like dark places.
but don't do it where we sleep.
No,
Do it over there.
he's gonna like trudge down the road.
Just hearing.
He's very unhappy.
That evening, with only one day left to go, I'm going to have you roll another d8, whoever wants to.
1.
Good.
It's on the other end of that 8 that you rolled. It's either good or bad.
Well, I mean, 8 was leeches.
I don't know if
so.
anything on this roll is good.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
we're not gonna find like a floating hotel.
No. So, that night, as you set up camp, Maury does his best to just try to calm, especially Julep, because she's like, I fucking saw myself 2 nights ago, and then I'm out there getting sucked on by leeches.
Yeah, I got sucked too, Juniper. Okay, I got sucked real fucking hard.
Does Eldon just call her Juniper every single time?
It's not her name.
I know it's Julep, right?
Yeah.
She corrects you every time. She's like, it's Julep, you fuck. So, that evening, who's on watch, and it can't be Eldon and Fernilly this time?
I'll do it.
All right, it's Kai and
too.
Ayla.
Kai and Ayla. You are. Did you summon your thingy? Did you summon your tiny hut?
I don't know if that works here. Like
I don't know either. Is it a?
Oh, do you need like solid ground?
it doesn't specify, but like if half of it's like over liquid or whatever, I don't
Yeah,
know.
you might not be able to. You might not be able to get a full like 10 feet without some kind of grossness in there, but
Oh, that's
You
the
can
worst. That's
still-
like getting like mud in your like.
I mean, I guess if
tent
you're
when
saying I
camping.
could summon it, then I probably would, because at least inside it's comfortable. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be humid and sticky.
Right. Well, the ground will be gross, but the atmosphere will be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Just get a little throw rug.
yeah.
With the mud.
I guess I would do it over our cart then, right? Well, it's
How big
10
is it?
feet.
You might not be able to
so-
get both, but yeah, you can try to do like one.
Really glamping.
No, just the cart that we're
Yeah.
like in charge of.
Okay.
Yeah. Nile.
Sorry, yes.
So you two are watching out for various things. There's so much moving in this all night long. This is not a calm watch ever. For anybody who decides to do it, you are on high alert. You are stressed the entire time. There's just so much moving. Some of it gets like more close than you would like, but you notice that they will move off. Like a two-legged something hunched over will get a little bit close, not close enough for you to see exactly what it is. Even with like the dark vision, there's so much in the way that you can.
What about Devil's Sight?
It's more about things.
You don't want to.
Yeah,
He doesn't want to describe what he sees.
Isla's got the dark vision, so she's like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
All
And
night
then
you're there.
You just see like Kai's eyes like darting back and forth.
Yeah.
He's seeing everything like it's daylight, like moving around
Yeah,
us.
you can still like you're seeing shadows even though it's daylight in your mind, mind's eye, I guess. There are lots of little creatures that are jumping and things that are flying, and just like Theratrix is there sometimes, but he has to sleep now.
We need to have a mini session of Eldon teaching him how he has to sleep.
How to what?
How he has to sleep. Because he never had to sleep
Oh, I'm
before,
sure
so
he
it's like
feels it.
how do I do this?
Probably goes until he passes out, but with your watching everything, I'm gonna have you make a perception check.
Both of us.
Yes, both of you.
Whoo! It's a 23.
Okay.
22.
All right. Nice. 23, 22.
It rolled, landed on the 2, and then went.
You both notice during your watch, as it gets darker in the space around you, you start to see these flickering lights. At first, they look like fireflies in the way that they manifest. They're just kind of like dim, and then they grow brighter, and then they soften again. And they're probably, by the time you notice that several of them have kind of descended upon your camp, keeping probably 15 or so feet away. They are not fireflies. There's almost like an orb in the center that is translucent, getting brighter, and then it's fading, and they're floating all around.
Mist drifters.
Are we all awake or are we sleeping?
I think it's just me and
Ayla.
Yeah, just the two of them. You probably see maybe 6 or 7 of them on the outskirts. They remind you of like fairy lights. Is a moment where you're kind of pulled back, Ayla, to your like a memory when you were a little kid. The memories that were given to you by Thalia. They are swirling, getting a little bit closer to things, brightening them up, and then pulling back to the cart that Maury and Asterim's End are sleeping in. I need you both to make a wisdom save. As one of them like floats up probably about 10 or so feet from your faces.
Did you use your thing already?
No.
You did, didn't you?
Let's try that. I'm remembering the beauty of fairy lights and then thinking, oh wait, they are quite dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
That's slightly better. That's 11.
Okay.
Wisdom is -1, save is +3. But still, I rolled
So shitty last time I wouldn't have passed anyways.
What'd you get?
10.
10 and 11. Okay. You both are just mesmerized by these lights. They kind of glow and fade, and you almost feel this like warmth that kind of fills you. Like, this is great. They're friendly. I wonder what they have to show me. And they just kind of like pull themselves back, and you both kind of going separate ways off of the carts or wherever you were, start heading off into the murk.
Question, a hopeful question for the DM. Since we were actually forewarned about these things from Gaia, would that help them at all? Like they know what these are. They were told not to go off specifically into the woods and to follow the
Fen
lights.
lights.
Sorry. Spells and other magical effects can't extend through the dome.
You weren't in the dome.
I thought we were...
Doing the
We're on
lookout
the
from
watch, I
the
thought.
We can't be watching from our dome?
Are you saying that you were in the dome?
I thought that's where we were. I thought we were sitting on top of our cart, which is in the dome, and doing watch.
Okay.
Unless you had a different idea for watch.
I figured we were out.
The DM's already gone with it. too
Well,
fast.
so here's the thing. If you're in the dome, you can't do a watch of Asterim's End. If you're out of the dome, you can do a watch of everything. My assumption was that you did the dome to protect your people, but Asterim's End is not in your dome.
All right.
I'm just saying, like, you just let me know. Are you doing a full watch, or are you leaving them on their own? Because they're assuming.
I thought they had their own people doing a
No,
watch.
because
No, you guys are.
Eldon did it
You guys are.
together. We're a team. I know we don't like that.
All right. Rewind.
Okay.
But
Let's go die.
My question was,
Stance. Did they
So-
Sensei had
know
spoke
what
to
those are?
Gaia earlier, and like Gaia had specifically mentioned these things. Does that give them any kind of forewarning at all? Like, I know they just failed the saves, but like,
Yeah, this is more about the magic.
okay,
Yeah, because you're
Knowledge
charmed.
can't
it was worth a shot.
Beat
It was
magic.
worth. I was
I
trying.
appreciate
Yeah.
I was warned about those.
We know what
They're
I wrote
still
those
pretty
down.
going
Yeah,
over there.
Yeah, like they
Here
came
they
over
are.
and
It's like how many people, go to the Grand Canyon and are told don't
Don't
look
climb
over
the
the
don't,
side.
don't climb the
and
fence.
they
Yeah.
look over the side and they fall.
I was
it
just
happens.
trying. Maybe get you guys advantage on the next one.
It's worth a try. It's
worth a
to
try.
ask.
I valiant the attempt.
yes, they kind of lure you out into the darkness. I'm gonna have you both roll a d20, and whoever gets closest to a 1 is gonna be my target.
Oh God.
This is a way to pit the players against each other.
That wasn't great.
9.
18.
Fuck me!
No.
That's what you get for not staying in the hut. This is
I
what
was
do to be a
protecting
team-
my own.
This is what I do to be a team player, and look what it gets me.
Yeah, exactly.
Get pulled into the.
Death by muck.
So, Kai, you're probably about, like, we'll say 10 or so feet off the path. Ayla, same, gone 2 separate directions. You almost folks watching from outside, if you had been awake, would see almost like other of these lights that are trying to like fight with each other to like gain control over. Another light will come in, and this one pushes it away, and there's like interaction between them. But Ayla,
Yeah, kill me.
an 11. Does an 11 hit you?
No.
Okay.
Did they have little daggers now?
Does a 16?
Yes.
Okay. As you are walking and this light is kind of like flashing, you suddenly feel yourself get like slammed to the side. You are hit with something that you do not see because you're so focused on this light.
It's a puck wedgie.
I need you to do a dex save.
A death save.
Dex.
Oh,
God.
I was like, fucking, what? Like,
That escalated quickly.
I blinked and missed
16.
16. Okay. Shit, that was.
That I can do. You take 24 Jesus Christ.
points of damage as this large, amphibious, strange-looking creature you don't get a full grasp on attempts to swallow you whole. Like you can see it like comes up and you are pushed out of the way. As one of the lights, it kind of like also dodges out of the way of this big mouth that has come up out of the bog, and I will have you make a wisdom save with advantage because this thing just hit you. Kai, as you are walking, Kai.
Double nat once. Double nat
Take
once.
a picture.
You have to because that is a 1 in 400 probability of
Double
happening.
nat.
It's your lucky day.
Fucking one.
Whatever is about to happen, it was meant to happen.
Yeah.
We get glare
It's
off
your
that.
lucky day.
Like, wow. Like, yes, that
Yikes.
1 in 400. You could roll
I have
20
told you
400
repeatedly, I am
times.
not making up a backup character if I die for this campaign.
No, you just gonna sit it out?
No, I'll play one of Astrum's ends.
There you go.
All right.
So sorry, that was a what did I have you do? Con or wisdom?
I don't
That was a
even know
wisdom.
at
I
this
think
point.
That was a wisdom
wisdom.
save. All right, I'm gonna see if this applies.
have to
Because
pull two
technically it
cards.
wasn't an attack by you. Yeah, it doesn't really apply. So a double nat 1 on a wisdom save with this
I mean, if it makes you feel
creature.
any better, there's 2 because I have a +1.
Well, that makes all. It's a whole different story.
So you get pushed out of the way before this thing can fully like grab onto your body and like swallow you whole. The light that had like control over you, you've seen it. So kind of like Scavenger's Reign, where
I was thinking about
the
that.
hollow is looking at Cayman, and he can't look away. The light almost like zips right back into your vision, and you are entranced by it. Again, you don't even like what just happened doesn't even register. Kai, the lantern comes up in front of your face, and it almost like kind of gets very, very, very close, and to not dirty 20. You take 3 points of radiant damage and 6 points of fire damage.
Basically sunburned you.
Yeah, as it like burns brightly in your face, and you almost kind of feel like something is being pulled from you, but you do get to make your wisdom save with advantage.
Not that one. Or that one.
Oh, damn.
no.
That was a 3 and a 4.
Bad rolls tonight.
We are the
So
worst
total
watch.
9 and 7.
rolls.
Okay.
Damn. That second one shouldn't count because it hit the top of the thing.
Or unless you would let me use my reaction to cast shield when it did the attack.
You're still charmed by it. So, do you have advantage on charms?
Nope.
Okay. So both of you are just like, this is happening. You didn't even yell out. Because you're just both entranced by this
Don't get
this
swallowed by a
situation
giant
that's
mouth.
happening. Ayla.
Don't bring me into this.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping.
You're
gonna say,
lucky.
we're all-
Ayla.
The rest of
There
us
is
snuggled up.
another attempt by this creature to
Well, it already
you
took
down.
almost half my fucking health in the first bite, so.
I was gonna say, I was surprised at how much damage those leeches did.
But that
They did
was a nat 1.
35
that
points
I
of
rolled,
fucking
so
damage.
it's got a 6 anyway.
Just by leeches.
It like comes up out of the muck again, and okay, it's just like misses entirely. You're over here, and it goes like it's almost like it's distracted by something else that is going on in the area.
There's always a bigger fish.
But while that is happening, this other creature, and there's actually going to be 2 of them that come with these orbs, and they get very, very close to your face. And they are going to... That is a 15 to hit.
Yep.
Okay. And a 25.
Yep.
So you are going to take...
I have
We don't
resistance to
hear-
fire, though.
We don't hear any of this.
You're going to take 7 radiant and 2 fire.
Yeah. So 7 radiant and 1 fire?
No, 2. I already rounded down. So, and then you will take another 7 radiant and 1 fire. So 14.
Just
14.
dying over
Is
here.
this making any noise?
They are not making noise at the moment because they're entranced, but you can make your wisdom save with advantage 2 times because you've taken 2 attacks. Kai, similar. 2 of them are coming to your face. You actually have a third one because that first one was right there. There was no distraction. We've got a 21.
What do you do? Good job.
He got me at least a 15.
An 11
Was it a good luck chopper?
and a 15.
Just the first one hits.
Okay. So you take 10 points of radiant and 4 of fire. Unless you have any. Okay.
Nope.
And you can make your wisdom save. As you are silently, like, being burned on all sides.
Okay. 21.
Okay.
God.
My God.
These
Rolls
3
are atrocious.
orbs that are kind of like burning in your face, finally, it's like you can feel it, but it's not that bad until it is. Suddenly your face is on fire, and you kind of like let out this roar of a yell as you are coming back to yourself.
15.
15. This was a wisdom save, right? You are
God
like
damn.
just standing there and
You
like
were so
you're
confident.
yeah, your skin is getting like
Oh, like
Seems like a
15's
number.
good.
I was gonna say, I think you rolled higher throwing those in the dice jail.
it's a DC 16. So
I did this nat 20 in there, motherfucker.
Take a picture of that too.
That die is just like
It is. It's
flipping you off in there.
so Kai, what did you have on your initiative? A 16.
Yes.
And Ayla, you were 22. So you have not come back. So it's this thing's turn in terms of my. So this large creature tries. It's coming up again for Ayla, who's just standing there, completely entranced by these things. That is a 26.
so long, folks. I'm in the belly of a frog.
No, you have to do a dex save. I had to hit you before you needed to do a save. So just a straight save.
16 again.
Okay. You.
That was fucking
The
tense for a
light.
second.
But that's crap for my dex. Like, I have a plus 6.
It's not. It's. You have to hit a 15. So these lights kind of like shift you out of the way just at the last moment. You are going to take some damage. I mean,
How's
you're
Ayla?
not actually getting
How's
hit.
Ayla
but
looking? You know,
Splendous.
how's she feeling?
9 points of damage. Like you're just being
We're
like
almost
pulled
Almost
aside.
there.
Okay.
Almost
So
there.
she's feeling almost unconscious.
So you turn around, Kai, and you're like finally back. You like pull yourself away.
What the hell was that?
What the hell? Very. And you look over and you can see Ayla is just standing there with like a smile on her face. These orbs there. These other orbs look almost like they're moving angrily, like around, pushing each other out of the way, like you've gotten away. But then you can see this large something that's just kind of descended down into the bog. And Ayla is...
How far away is Ayla from Kai?
Ayla, I would say, is probably about like 40 feet because she went the opposite way.
40 feet.
Yeah. You can see... You went this way, she went this way, and there was like a gap in the middle, so you can see her just standing there like... And her skin is getting like...
Burning me,
Burning.
eating me.
Getting a chemical peel.
So Kai will, seeing Ayla and realizing she is still in what Kai just got out of, he will bonus action, Misty Step, 30 feet, cut the distance, run up, grab Ayla,
Explore.
and he's going to use his boots and then leap back onto the road.
Okay.
Nice.
I thought you were going to cast it.
I can't. I had to cast Misty Step in order to get there.
So you do that, like running through that bog is rough terrain, so you still get to her, but you're kind of sloshing through, grab onto Ayla, and then push off and go. I'm going to give this creature another attempt at getting to Ayla. But
She mad at me today.
it's going to be disadvantage.
What did you do?
It's going to be disadvantage.
We went on a family vacation.
She's been locked in a hotel for a week. That's what you did.
She's coming for blood.
Does a 14 hit you?
It meets it beats it.
Hold on. I did disadvantage, but also the nat 1 that it got said that it was a minor. Minus.
Now it's a tug of war
So
between the two.
it comes up out of the murk just as you're taking her and leaping back over, and it like closes its mouth again, and catches nothing, and then like sinks itself back into the earth. Make another wisdom save with advantage as the orbs are like, and they're like following to try to get there.
13.
I was just like, no, pushing
Play with the
against
fairy. I want to.
back.
It does make sense because if anybody was going to be susceptible to that type of thing, it would be you.
I was 4 years old.
It's subconscious.
Yeah, it's in there.
The lights. You're 4 years old again in your mind.
So Kai, as you leap back over, where you're on the road.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back to like in between the carriages, like kind of like center, so we can kind of like regroup.
Okay.
As Ayla is like.
Yeah, she's trying to like go back to. So all 7 of these orbs are starting to get closer. The 3 that were on Ayla are like trying to follow because she's reaching out. She's doing fine. So what would you like to do?
You said like all 7 are
they're
starting to like
descending on
get
your whole
real
group.
close. I'm gonna hold Ayla's hand, and as they're like within 10 feet, all 7, I'm gonna cast Thunder Step
Okay.
right where I am and take Ayla, and then that way we're inside the hut.
Okay. All right. So Thunderstep.
That is, I believe it's a constitutional save. Where's, if I could spell, yes, thunder would be at the end, and that's 5d10. Can I borrow 2d10 from somebody?
All right. So this
work?
like
That works.
blast of energy emits from Kai as you bamf yourself away. I'm just doing an average, but there was a nat 20. What was the DC?
DC 16.
Okay.
So that's 24 thunder damage.
All right. So you see, as you bamf into the dome, you see these like slide out. They got pushed away. At least half of them just kind of like brightly. They don't do their flickering. They're bright and they like push off and away. The others pull away from the camp, but then linger on the outskirts. There's like 3 of them left.
That must have woken everyone up.
Yes, and with that, like that thunderous
Yes,
crack, Yeah. The whole group, like everybody wakes up. You're all awake from this sudden loud crash. Ayla is there in the room with you. Her face and like chest are all like crackled and like a really bad
Kai
sunburn.
is just holding her by the tail. She's like leaning like at a 45-degree slant.
With them pushed away from you and you in the bubble, you feel yourself come back to yourself, and now you can feel the pain.
Do I
that
have
is, like,
a
shoulders.
recollection of what happened or no?
It was nice until it wasn't. It was beautiful, and then
You had a good
now-
time.
Yeah, now you're like, oh shit, I just got burned.
Wasn't.
It just flumps to the floor with Kai just holding her tail. And she's like, oh, the
You hear Maury and we'll say Droppel. Droppel's the wizard. You hear them yell out, "Everybody stay in! Close down everything! Do not get off the road!"
Do not look at the lights. Trust me.
So you got all these crackling, broken skin.
Did something try to eat me? What the hell is...
I think it was a salamander of some kind.
Motherfucker.
Gaia did say there were giant frogs and lizards and all sorts of things.
Ugh.
And lights. She said, don't follow the lights.
Was not intentional, I assure
Not
you.
easy to not... I mean, they're so warm, and I swear they were singing. She takes out her cleansing stone and starts cleaning all the... magically cleaning all the fucking gunk off of herself.
Gaia, add to the log. We spotted fen lights.
Noted.
Rather, they spotted us.
I need to go lay down.
Droppel calls out. She's like, "These are bog lanterns. Be careful."
Update.
Update.
Gaia.
I was
bog
mistaken.
lanterns.
From your description, I assumed they were fen lights. They are bog lanterns.
They might be the same thing,
Maybe.
just updated language.
Right, that's the old name.
You have a somewhat quiet thing that was in the off to the side. It doesn't seem to try to like get back onto the road. It goes after like it's like they have a symbiotic relationship. These things kind of lure folks out, and this thing, takes advantage, like a trout or something. Trout with.
I was
like
just
that works.
fly fished.
Yeah.
And it almost worked. Uh-oh.
I don't even know what that was. So the next day, you get your rests and whatnot. That was a close one for Ayla.
That was...
I
It's
rolled-
always a close one for Ayla. Ayla either gets 0 damage in battles because she hides really well, or she nearly dies every time.
Well, that one I rolled really bad for the swallow. That's what she said. And because he could have been swallowed whole, and then that would have been a problem.
Been really bad.
The next morning,
I'm spicy.
As
It
you
would have
just
it
saw.
would have had a bad next couple days.
Indigestion.
you are told, Maury's like, "There's only one more day. This is the last day, everyone. Last day.
Yeah, I do not want a repeat of that.
Be careful. We've gotten very lucky, despite the disconcerting individuals and things trying to eat us."
Bite marks around your waist.
Who wants to do one more D8?
I mean, after surviving all that, I have to say that should be
That's you,
Ayla.
yeah.
3.
Okay.
2 nat ones. I can't fucking
That was
believe
wild.
that. And I watched one landed a flat nat one, the other one spun, and usually when it spins, I get a good roll on it.
I told you that the dice gods, that is
Go buy
what
a
was
scratch
meant
ticket.
to happen.
Would you say it was a 1 in what chance?
1 in 400.
It's $20 cash. You gotta check it.
There you go.
Oh, it's technically the probability, which is more than a 1 in 400, but it's a probability of 1 in 400.
As you continue on your last day, hopefully in the bog, you see that Eldon, Theratrix, at one point kind of swoops down and is walking alongside of you. And he says, I've been meaning to tell you, I've been having conversations with Pyrathorin, and he had an update. It has been decided that the Liberators will be disbanded and absorbed into the Keepers. They're going to keep their name.
Okay.
It's my understanding that the discussion was had, and Zuruk decided that the mission of the Liberators had been completed, while the Keepers, well, theirs still stands.
That's very good. That's very good. Was there any update with the ambassador and Zorok?
The ambassador, I believe she may be there now.
Okay.
Your mother also said she's proud.
He looks down. How did you speak to her?
Oh, I didn't. Pyrathorn told me. She's been helping with the cleanup effort in the womb.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you for telling me.
Your dad still says you're a dumbass.
You'll note the father didn't say anything to him.
Left that part out.
And tell my boy I said...
Don't let him get a big head. Eldon, how would you feel about going back to being one of the Keepers?
I'm not sure. I didn't really... I haven't given it much thought. We've been very, very busy these past few days. Well, I suppose... Well, I think Zorok expects me to go back. He can only be that voice for so long. He can only speak for the people for so long. But that doesn't mean I don't know. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. Why? What do you feel?
I feel like my purpose is different from yours now. But I more was just curious if that's what you want to do. And Theratrix looks over to where Iolite is doing whatever Iolite's doing.
Does he look jealously over Ayla?
No, very dragon-like. Just tilt a head, look over at
Combing her
Iolite.
hair with a very wide tooth comb.
Combing her hair.
Keepers aren't allowed girlfriends.
If the voice...
That was the old keepers. These are the new and improved keepers.
With keepers. They can get it.
New keeper order.
Do you see yourself as the voice of the world dragon?
I don't even know what that means. Still. My heart tells me one thing, but duty is a heavy weight, too.
You said duty.
Can you say that as Theratrix?
That was Theratrix.
Oh.
I feel like I must point out that you did just say dude. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge that you said
That was the way you said it was Desi, not quite Theratrix.
Pyrathorn's been telling him. Well, imagine having a shit for the very first time after, not having to.
It's like, what is that strange sensation? Oh my god, my insides are coming out.
Although I think I remember, like,
Pooping
in
was optional.
or in the very, very early sessions when he was tiny, we decided he pooped in.
All right, yeah. He left
And that
little
was
chocolate
canon.
We didn't
nuggets.
decide anything about that.
When the majority
Everyone
decided.
besides you decided that.
Yeah, because that's what he wants. He just
He
wants
had little pellets.
just dragon
So
pellets falling out of his sleeves.
it's not about what he wants.
But I think
It's about what
I
he
think we
gets.
said they're like rabbit pellets. They didn't smell. They didn't
Yeah,
stick.
they just roll.
Yeah.
Good luck with that now.
They smell like whatever
Now
the
he's
other
eating
realm
meat.
he went
Now,
to
yeah,
smells like.
he'd be dropping fucking basketball-sized pellets.
lavender
Like,
or something.
the size
Oh,
of
like a
a
good-
this,
yeah.
like, all on.
Hoagie-sized
I hope
shits.
not. We don't
You
know.
didn't like it
Hoagie
there.
on you now.
Oh my-
The steak.
Hoagies
bro.
are innocent.
How long?
Cloud
Get
like.
the homebrew. If Therachix by the end of the campaign does not do a drive-by hoagie on something, we have missed our mark.
Yeah, he needs to shit on someone we don't like.
Okay. That's a conversation you can absolutely have with Therachix.
Talk about weaponizing that.
Biological
Dookie.
warfare.
So what?
Well, you said duty.
I did say duty. Maybe I should say responsibility instead.
Duty's fine.
Duty.
I was just curious. No reason. I will go scout. He pushes off right
I'll
away.
think on it.
Duty.
Anything anybody wants to hash out on the last day as you are exiting the bog?
Cat wants to walk up to Iolite. Iolite, how much charge does Gaia have?
She pulls her up. Gaia, what's your battery level?
Roll a d6.
I'm not charging you. I'm just asking.
Oh, if you don't charge her, then she's not working.
Oh, she's dead.
Yeah.
She's
It's
dead.
been like
Okay.
5 days.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Well, all right then. 6.
Oof.
Okay.
She's juiced.
Good
So
charge.
is it like
though.
one? Is it each point is hit? Is a point of damage? But is it also an hour of?
On a d6, it's an hour, but she's at minimal. You're charging her minimally. She can last for a while, but if you want her to be a higher charge, you're gonna have to roll higher dice.
You have to like
This is good for Kai right
shoot
now.
a guiding bolt into her or something.
Yeah.
I'm saying. So can you choose to? Is that something that you can do? You can choose to roll higher
I mean,
dice.
she's
for it?
only like going like this. She's not.
I've never like done that.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
you
has
know.
a
Oh, okay.
I've only done the little. Would I do something different if I was gonna like juice her up?
I would have you roll something different if you want her to be
Well,
like
since it's
more
just
power.
Kai asking, I'm not doing that.
You get a zap.
Here.
Would you mind if I asked Gaia something about she said the other day?
No, knock yourself out. You know. Prop.
Gaia,
Good morning, Malachi Morningstar.
good morning. You said the other day something along the lines of this plane of existence.
I did.
Do you have knowledge of other planes of existence?
I do.
Which ones?
Well, more specifically, there is the astral plane, the planes of the 9 hells, the abyssal plane, and then she lists a whole bunch of, we'll say like 10 other planes that, the Forgotten Realms, you know, she's
I was
just
gonna say, is that gonna be?
different. What is a
Let me tell you the story of the bums of Greenland.
Far and Tall Tales? What's his plane? What's his world called?
Farital.
Oh, Farital mentions that one. Yeah.
Do you know of anything of the Shadowfell?
The information that I have on the Shadowfell is not contained on this tablet.
Where would someone find that information?
This tablet would need to be hooked up to the mainframe, and then goes into a whole bunch of computer speak about how it
Just
needs to
means
intranet
nothing to
and
Kanye.
hooked up and
external hard drive.
it has to
We need
download
10
the.
mile long Ethernet cable.
See, the way Kai feels about tech right now is the way it is with me. Whenever somebody starts talking tech,
She starts
or-
talking about how it would be
over.
faster if it's a direct connection, but you could also do it through the Wi-Fi. Yeah, but you want a secure, all that.
And then she asked you to take this survey about how satisfied you are with this app's
I'm
performance.
only giving you a 1 because there isn't anything lower.
I apologize. I rolled a 2 on a d20.
What about the gods? Do you have any information on them?
I have limited information on all major gods from the planes of existence I listed.
Tell me, Gaia. Do you have anything on vampires?
Vampires exist everywhere but Divenia.
In my databanks, I have a story called Twilight.
The information that I have on vampires is located in the mainframe. I rolled a 5 on a d20.
Thank you, Gaia.
You're welcome, Malachi Morningstar.
Bangs it off a rock. Fucking
Turns out like this isn't an iPad, it's like a kid's Amazon Fire tablet.
Well, it's not connected to the internet,
This is a
really.
bootleg.
That's a Kindle.
This is the one that you buy on the side of the road. It's not really.
It's
Yeah.
a Kindle. It's not Wi-Fi enabled.
It's not
I like the idea that like we
Apple, it's an
like
appy.
we like the colors on it, but it really it's gray, but it has like that colorful rubber thing that you put on when your kids hold it.
The candles on the
Yeah.
side.
Well, things you notice as you are done with this bog. You are all stinky and gross, except
a
for
cleansing
those
stone.
who clean themselves.
I bought this specifically so I'm never stinky.
I'm gonna have everybody roll 1 con save as well, to see if you have a point of exhaustion that leaves with you as you exit the bog. Because the way D&D works, I can't give you 8 encounters a day.
I'm using this.
12.
Okay.
16.
15.
10.
Ayla and Iolite, you both have 1 point of exhaustion.
The
Nobody
girls
else on
are
your team.
tired.
Yeah, you're very tired. You've been healing up using salves on your skin and cleansing yourself this day. And as the
such an
last
angry-
Meeple
Should have
bread.
rolled my big one. Big one always rolls good. I rolled a 5 there. Usually always rolls good. Stop making me a liar!
and as the last
It's
stretch,
just the
You can't
dice
say
gods
that.
today
They
have
hate
made
us.
their decision.
fighting.
they're angry that we only played for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
As the last stretch of slick wooden planks gives way to firmer ground, your boots land with a wet squelch on a patch of grass that feels, finally, like it won't swallow you whole. Before you, rising from the edge of the bog like a stubborn weed, is Bog's End. The town is a patchwork of scavenged stone and warped timber, slumped against the edge of a rocky ridge, where the Stillfen drains into a sluggish black stream. Mismatched roofs sag under the weight of creeping moss, and fences lean like drunks. Every surface seems waterlogged or rust-bitten, and yet there's life here. Smoke curls lazily from chimneys. There's faint strains of music adrift from behind shuttered windows. You see a pair of children that splash barefoot through a puddle. They're laughing while a wiry old man watches from this crooked porch. To your left, you spot a tall structure, part tower, part shack, that's built into the stone rise itself. And you can barely see old arcane symbols that are visible beneath layers of paint and weather-worn ivy. But you can also feel like somebody's watching, like this is a guarded area, even if you can't see them. And then a little bit further beyond, you past the sagging houses and these rope-hung lanterns, you can see that the Stillfen like stretches a little bit further and then dies down. And you have made your way through the bog, almost having lost Ayla, at the very least. Smelling of rot and decay. And Mori looks to you all. Let's make some friends.
That I am good at.
And that's where we will end tonight's session.